could say.
Be like, yes, it is. You never know what Taylor Swift's gonna do next. Okay. Ukraine needs more weapons, and the U.S. is sending over $800 million worth their way.
Up next, the CDC has launched a new Center for Disease Forecasting to catch emerging viruses.
And a bride and caterer are facing charges for serving wedding food laced with marijuana.
Broadcasting from Swanson Studios, you're watching Mustang News.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this edition of Mustang News TV. I'm Ashley Toole.
And I'm Kimmy Amati. Let's get into today's top stories. New satellite images show mass graves in the Ukrainian city of Mariupol. The destruction can be seen from space, and it points to more brutality from Russian forces. These images show the city at ground zero, where the Azovstal steel plant stands as Mariupol's last line of defense.
There will be nobody left in this area. There will be dead, all the children. I'm not talking about the soldiers, but the civilians will be eliminated.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is saying that his troops need more weapons to defeat the Russians, so the U.S. is stepping up. President Biden just signed off on a new $800 million military aid package to send to Ukraine. Ukrainian soldiers remain defiant in resisting Russian attacks as they continue to ignore calls to surrender.
On Thursday, 2 students were stabbed after a fight broke out at Baltimore High School in Maryland. School officials say the incident happened during lunch at Mergenthaler Vocational Technical High School. A witness says they saw a student take out a knife. One victim was stabbed once, with another being stabbed 5 times. They both sustained non-life-threatening injuries. School officials say a student was arrested, but no other details have been released. A loaded handgun was also found in a different area of the school. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have launched a new tool to help communities gauge the seriousness of emerging health threats. The Center for Forecasting and Outbreak Analytics, or CFA, aims to be a national weather service for infectious diseases, according to the CDC.
In this way, CFA will help reduce the clinical burden and mortality while diminishing the potential for social and economic disruption during health threats.
The need for a system like this became clear during the COVID-19 pandemic, and the investment is already paying off as the center anticipated the timing and impact of the Omicron variant. The CDC hopes forecasts from the center will help communities respond more quickly and effectively to the emergence of future viruses to prevent another global pandemic.
A Florida woman and her wedding caterer are facing charges for an eventful wedding that most guests might not be able to remember. The bride, Danya Svoboda, and wedding caterer Jocelyn Bryant are accused with spiking food with marijuana. They're being charged with violating Florida's Anti-Tampering Act, culpable negligence, and delivery of pot. Authorities confirmed the drug was laced in the food at the reception site. Some guests were treated at the scene, and many people tested positive for THC when they were seen at local hospitals and clinics. Both Svoboda and Bryant are out on bond and are scheduled to be arraigned in June. More than a dozen women who were victimized by former USA Gymnastics team Dr. Larry Nassar have filed claims with the FBI asking for $130 million. The women say FBI investigators turned a blind eye to their allegations of sexual abuse by Nassar, and this was approved with an Inspector General's report revealing that senior FBI officials failed to respond, and when they did, numerous errors were made. Nassar was eventually tried and convicted with charges of sexual misconduct and child pornography. Each of 13 women are seeking $10 million from the FBI.
Up next, a mysterious arthropod has been named after none other than pop star Taylor Swift. Meet the swift-twisted claw millipede. It's one of 16 new species named by scientist Derek Hennon in a newly published paper. The millipede is only found in Tennessee, where Taylor Swift grew up. Hennon says listening to Swift's music helped him get through grad school, so he felt it appropriate to name this discovery after her. Swift has not yet commented on her new namesake.
It's kind of funny how at the beginning of this year, Taylor was getting a lot of publicity for her re-recording of her albums, but now it's because of bugs.
Yeah, well, all publicity is good publicity, right?
You just never know what Taylor's gonna do next. That's all we have for you today, folks. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on Mustang News TV. I'm Kimmy Amati.
And I'm Ashley Toole. We hope you have a great rest of your day.